And then, all right, welcome everyone to another edition of 15 Minutes of Positivity. Again, we get together Monday through from 12 to 12:15 to practice uh, core skills that, when you add them all up and you get really good at them, they constitute the foundation of well-being. And to Friday today, I'll be speaking for a couple of. I want to really practical. We've done this practice before, and it falls into the bucket of sort of what to do in an emergency. So I think of mental and emotional fitness in these two ways. The first really has to do with what we do when we practice gratitude and mindfulness and attention training or compassion. We're activating our capacity to experience these foundational skills, and that's really the bedrock of resilience, is being able to on a day-to-day basis at a level where when things go sideways in life, it doesn't completely throw us. Why? Because we've been curating these skills and developing this fitness. Then the reality is being human can be pretty challenging at times. And I think the reason most of us on these calls is because we've had first-hand experience with anxiety or depression or other things that can really rock our world. And when we're triggered, it's so difficult to get back to baseline. And so, it's really hard to use the mind to address mental distress. So, I'd like to do this practice today, which falls into the bucket of sort of these emergency de-stressors. So when we're triggered, something's happened and our resilience is just knocked, we need some tools to be able to, in the moment, say, okay, this is happening. How do I get my nervous system back on track? And so really what we're talking about here is activating what's called the parasympathetic nervous system. Right? The sympathetic nervous system is that automatic part of us when we feel stressed or threatened, or our ancestors were being chased down by a wild animal. The sympathetic nervous system is the part that affects our blood pressure, our heart rate, and all of these things that we experience when we're feeling really stressed, which is fine when you're being chased by a wild animal. But when you're sitting in traffic, or your boss gave you looked at you sideways, and suddenly you feel your heart rate going through the roof, it's really not that helpful. The question is, what do we do in those situations? And the answer is, we want to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So para meaning sits on top of the sympathetic nervous system. And another way of describing that is the rest and digest system. Right? If you think about, you just had a big meal and you're sitting down and you're relaxing, the parasympathetic nervous system is the part of us that allows us to feel that sense of relaxation. And we're not, our energy sources aren't focused on increasing our blood pressure or any kind of fight or flight activation. Instead, we're just relaxed and we're resting. So one of the best ways that I know how to do this, I learned from this wonderful man here. I've learned so much from him, and Andrew Huberman. Free podcast online. I can't stress enough what an amazing resource he is. I've learned so much from him. And he has a lab down at Stanford and has studied the physiological impact of various de-stressing activities. And he did this wonderful study that he published where he compared different types of breathing activities or exercises, even with mindfulness. And he found that 5 minutes a day of this specific breathing, cyclic sighing that we're going to go through now, actually performed better than 5 minutes of mindfulness meditation a day. So a significantly higher or more effective way of improving mood and just sort of bringing people back down to baseline. So what we're going to do today is we'll do a few minutes of cyclic sighing. Again, hopefully you'll feel immediately, during the session, the impact of it. And then I just really encourage you to see if you can bake this into your day to day, because it has a really immediate impact on those situations when we're stressed. And here's how this goes. So cyclic sighing is, you take a full inhale, and then you add another sip on top of it, and then a long inhale. So it looks something like this. Again, full inhale, sip. So the sip is really important because it expands the alveoli in our lungs and allows our lungs to really have the maximal oxygen and CO2 exchange, which is the part that actually brings our nervous system back down into equilibrium. So let's do that for 3 minutes. I got my timer, but I want us to start off first with just a basic, let's get grounded. Let's do a brief inventory of how our nervous system feels in this moment. Then we'll do the cyclic sighing for 3 minutes. And then we'll come back to experience our nervous system and just see if you can really pay attention to any telltale signs of relaxation or any calming effects from the cyclic sighing. So let's start closing our eyes. And as always, find a posture where you're upright, alert, yet calm and relaxed at the same time. I like to put my feet flat on the ground and really get into contact with the present moment, which right here, right now, consists of us just sitting in a chair, notice contact with the ground and the chair. That's about it. Everything else is just a story or a narrative that our brain and our mind is telling us or is spinning about this morning and about the future, what may be coming our way this afternoon. Right here, right now, all we're doing is sitting and just noticing your body breathing. And maybe just take a really quick inventory, a quick body scan. What's it like to be in your body in this moment? So I'd like to quickly scan through, so noticing your eyes, for example, what are your eyes doing? Notice the energy in your eyes. How does your jaw feel? Your shoulders, your chest and your belly, your whole torso. Noticing the energy in your hands, the palms of your hands, and all the way down your feet. And just notice like how aroused is your nervous system in this moment. Maybe you feel calm, maybe it's a little bit jittery. Again, we're not trying to change anything with our mind here, we're just noticing. And then we're going to do 3 minutes of cyclic breathing. And again, I'll do this with you, but just go at your own pace. So let's start taking a full inhale and then sipping and then a full exhale. So here we go. Just keep going at your own pace. about a minute and a half. And if you're noticing a little bit of tingliness in your hand or in your head, a little bit of lightheadedness, that's okay. Totally normal. And just keep going at your own speed. I'll see if I can jump back in without disrupting your rhythm here. Let's do 2 more rounds. And now just allow your breath to return to its own natural rhythm. And drop back into observer mode and simply notice, what's it like to be in your body now? Does it feel different? If so, how? Where do you notice anything feel different? Again, maybe scanning your eyes and your jaw, your shoulder, upper back area, hands, your belly and your chest. And last but not least, your feet on the ground. And then go ahead, take a deep breath in. Now let's exhale, open your eyes. And just remember, this is available to you. It's free. You can do it 10 times a day. You can do it once a day. You can do it 20 times a day. Super useful when you're triggered. Again, my advice when if you're experiencing any overwhelming anxiety or panic attacks, one thing about getting out of your mind and into your body. So if you don't have access to a really cold shower, do some breathing just like this, and it will help. It's been shown to just logically calm you down. So I hope that's helpful. Have a great weekend. I'll stick around as per usual for a few minutes, and I'll see you at noon on Monday. Mindfulness practice. Take care, everyone.